Welcome to this podcast, Holistic Creators, where we share our unique and universal stories about shaping the future for the 4 Ps: people, planet, purpose, and profit. My name is Swanette. I'm a mental coach and your host of this show. My intention for this show is to inspire you on your path to a holistic future. So welcome. Hello and welcome to my podcast, Holistic Creators. My name is Swanette and I'm your host. Today, my guest is Tom Paladino. He is a scalar energy researcher. Wow. I'm sure some of you have heard about Nikola Tesla and his inventions about free energy, but I can now bring you into contact with Tom, who can really open up the area of quantum healing with his Scalar Light technology. So welcome to my show.
Thank you, Swanette. Pleasure to be here. Thank you.
Yeah, for everybody who has no idea what scalar energy is, can you give us a little bit of an explanation? Yeah, what is it? Where does it come from? How can it be used?
Now, everybody understands scalar energy. Scalar light is from the sun and the stars. It's the initial energy of the universe. I work with that initial, the life force energy of the universe. It's not electricity. And I've developed scalar energy instruments. This is the scalar energy instrument behind me that harness scalar energy. So we're not going to speak about electricity. We're going to speak about the energy of the sun and the stars, scalar energy.
So can you go a little bit more into details? Like I can understand, like we have our solar system and like the sun is emanating frequencies and energy. So how does it come to us and how can it be harnessed?
The key to my work is I do harness that energy. Now, all energy initiates from the sun and the stars as scalar energy. That's the primary, that's the initial energy of the universe. And I've discovered that scalar energy best promotes human and animal health, even plant health. Now, how do we use this? Through this instrument. When we direct it, we broadcast this energy. So my approach is an engineered approach. This is not a psychic event. This is not auto-suggestion. These are scientific instruments that can capture the energy from the sun and the stars. This is one of the instruments that I work with. And in so doing, I can use this to improve, as I mentioned, quantum health for people, animals, and plants. I'll explain that as we get into it.
Yeah, so this is just energy that is surrounding us in our atmosphere, I understand, and that comes from like the solar system, from the sun, from the stars.
Yes, this energy does come from the sun and the stars. You're absolutely right. It's everywhere. It's in my laboratory. It's in our homes. Scalar energy is universal energy. It's ubiquitous. And that's the key to my research. I don't need a power plant. The stars are the power plant.
Yeah, so and the energy is kind of created there or stored there?
Yes, I believe in effect that this is divine energy. I believe that's what I've tapped into. Some people might use the term consciousness or life force energy. That's what I'm working with. It's non-physical consciousness. And it's so promising because we're leaving behind the physical world. We're working with the aura or the world of spirit or consciousness.
Okay, and so as it is surrounding us naturally, does it has an impact if it is not like harnessed in a certain kind of way?
Yeah. It has an impact every second of our lives. Scalar energy creates our DNA. Scalar energy gives us thoughts. It's the instructions, it's consciousness of the universe. So our body is composed of those instructions. Consciousness, that's my contention. I am working with the consciousness of the universe. That's what I'm so keen on. So we're leaving it behind, once again, the physical world. When I work with this spiritual world, with this non-physical science, I can accomplish so much that I cannot accomplish with electricity. Electricity magnetism is really an inferior type of energy.
So you said you can harness it and then use it for the good for people, for animals, and for plants. So this is really like the whole living system, so to say.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Let me demonstrate. This instrument is functioning. It's on. I've turned it on. It's so powerful, it will illuminate a light bulb. You can see this light bulb is in its factory packaging. I pass this close to the instrument, it illuminates under the influence of scalar energy. So imagine that this is a miniature star giving us helpful, advantageous light. So this is the new science in which we don't work with the physical body, we work with the aura or the informational body. It's all consciousness.
So what is going to happen inside of, for example, your human body while you are in this field that you just harnessed?
Most people send us a testimony and they say they feel great. Now, I only can prove my work thus far by personal testimonies, the account that people have. Why? Nobody's ever duplicated this instrument. And then secondly, when I'm working with this energy, it's quite unique. I don't work with people. I work with photographs that have energy fields. If I place my photograph inside the instrument, the energy field will be visited upon my aura. So to illustrate, people can bilocate to my laboratory through their photograph because there's an aura or consciousness attached to the photograph. I never work with people. I only work with photographs of people and animals. That's the key to my work.
Yeah, well, this is very interesting. So I have been part of some remote viewing studies as I can access the quantum field with my consciousness. And what I have got was like a code that was connected to a person sitting somewhere, and I had to tune in over this code into this situation and describe and whatever. So I know about this kind of connection between like what you use, photo, and the real living being. But perhaps some people cannot understand it. So can you explain a little bit more how this connection is happening?
Yes. By all means, let's say we have a conversation through our cell phone. Well, my voice is not in a cell phone. I'm not in a cell phone. My voice is modulated. It's broadcast by a cell phone. Well, likewise, if somebody sends me their photograph, that's their simulation, or that's their bilocated character. So if I can bilocate by way of my cell phone, then people can bilocate by way of their photograph. So if we can have this Zoom call, this conversation through our computers, obviously I'm not in your computer. My image is in your computer, just as we would place an image inside this instrument. So this is the new science in which scalar energy is everywhere, including on a photograph. My energy field is attached to that photograph. When I place my photograph inside the instrument, the energy field is accessed. I can access my aura, my consciousness, my chi, my creative strength through this photograph.
And what is it useful for? Like you said, it's creating the DNA and you use it for health. Like, can you give us some examples so that people get more clear about that?
Yeah, so in application, anytime I place my photograph in the instrument, I feel the energy. It's palpable. I can feel it pulsing. Now consider this. If this light bulb will be animated through the instrument, that's the identical light going into my auras, my chakras. So scalar energy will now enter into my chakras, into my brain waves through this instrument. And the upshot, the result is people are happier. Once this white light enters into their chakra system, they feel that they're calmer. Many people say that they can achieve a full night of sleep, of rest. Some people say it's lifted their depression. Others have said that this has improved their memory. So this is corrective light downloading into our consciousness, okay? Into our 7 chakras, all through the instrumentation, all through this fundamental energy. There's no guesswork on my part. The light The energy is the healing aspect. I do not interface with this instrument. The light is healing.
So we all know that we are energetic beings.
Yes.
So of course, energy will influence also on the physical realm, like in our body.
Yes.
What you just shared was more like on the mental plane, but how does this really influence, for example, also on, in our physical system?
In the physical system. Oh, here's a technique that I've developed. Now, remember, everything is instructions with this instrument. I'm going to hold up a photograph of a bacterium. This is mycoplasma pneumonia.
Yeah.
If I or anybody had that in them, in their energetic field, I would simply take this photograph and place it next to the person's photograph. So there's a sharing of information. Mycoplasma pneumonia is now communicating with my force field. It's consciousness, information, intelligence. The intelligence of mycoplasma pneumonia is identified in my force field or in my aura. And this instrument will not only identify mycoplasma pneumonia, but eradicate it, bring it to a state of chaos. So I've perfected this now without human reasoning. All I do is use photographs of germs, microbes. I place them in the instrument side by side my photograph, or side by side the photograph of the people that I'm working with that day. And if anybody has mycoplasma pneumonia, this instrument will not only identify the bacterium, but bring it to a state of chaos. So there's no human reasoning. The energy finds the bacterium and brings it to a state of chaos, removes it, destroys it.
I've worked in clinical microbiology for some time in a laboratory that was connected to a hospital. And what we have seen, and this is already 30 plus years ago, that already at that time, for example, we had this multi-resistant bacteria that didn't respond anymore to any kind of antibiotics and were really difficult, and even people died from that because the wounds wouldn't heal anymore. So is it possible, for example, if someone has this kind of bacterial, like Staphylococcus aureus, for example?
By all means, I've had great success with Staph aureus. I've had great success with different types of fungi. In total, what I've done throughout my career, I've amassed photographs of microbes, germs, and I'm able to eradicate those germs through this instrument. By way of intelligence, for instance, if I were to take a photograph of Candida albicans, it's a common fungus, and match it up, once again, we can identify Candida albicans and then bring it to a state of chaos. Now, if I can do that with fungus or a bacterium, I can do that with viruses, I can do that with any microbe if I have the photograph. So in total, over my career, I've amassed probably photographs of, I would say, 400,000 species of germs. For instance, here's a photograph, collage, a montage, if you will, of 15 different viruses. If I wanted to identify those 15 viruses, once again, by placing both photographs in the quantum field, this instrument would look for those 15 viruses. Their identity would be found in my aura, not biologically, energetically. And if I had any of those viruses in my aura, in my quantum field, it would remove it, efface it, eradicate it, cure it, call it what you will. Working in the non-physical realm, only through photographs.
Yeah. And you said you will bring this parasite or bacteria or virus or fungus into chaos. What does this mean? Is it like shaking and like destroying them, or give us a better picture?
I theorize that the microbe breaks apart. I theorize because if you have matter, that's order. If you have some type of molecule, that's order. And if you bring something to a state of chaos, you lose the molecular intelligence. You lose the molecular bonds. It's sort of as if you have a glass and you throw it on the ground. Well, it's broken up. It's still glass, but it's shards of glass. I believe that's what happens. I theorize. Nobody can prove this yet. My work is groundbreaking. But let's use the term transmutation. We take one form, one quantum form, and change it into another quantum form.
Okay, and then our body is able to, with the immune system or whatever, to eliminate it and bring it out of the body.
Yes.
Yeah.
Now, to be keen, what's so important, there's no chemical detox with my work. I never experience a chemical detox. It's not a chemical. I work with auras. You cannot have a, if you will, chemical detox or a chemical exposure with your aura. It's impossible. I don't work in a biochemical sense. I work with auric force fields.
So, which means also like there will be kind of no side effects, or do you know of any? Do you know of any side effects that people share?
Never, never. How can a photograph experience dizziness, or a Herxheimer reaction, or a chemical detox? How can an aura experience any type of pimple or inflammation? It's impossible. So what do I like about my work? I work with clean energy from the sun, divine energy. There's no side effects. And anytime I instruct the instrument, it does what I tell it to do. If I tell this instrument to look for Candida albicans and to eradicate it, the instrument does exactly that.
So it is also super specific, which means it is specific for only the person you have the photo of, and also, like, for example, the fungus that is then targeted.
Yes, that's correct. So to be clear, I work with thousands of people every day through miniaturized photographs. And I have, if you will, hundreds of thousands of microbes that I introduce into the instrument. So within an hour, I could work with 100,000 people and download the information of microbes into their quantum field. It's always painless. It's only by light, no chemicals involved. It's a new science in which we access the energy field.
So what are normal situations, or I would say requests that people come into your world with? Like, are they sick, or do they feel uncomfortable, not well? Do they have pets that have sicknesses, or plants that doesn't want to grow? So I'm just making this up, of course, but let us know what are typical requests that come in.
I receive many requests, and you're right. I'll receive requests for me to work with the entire family, or sometimes I'll receive a request from an entire village in which people, and I've been working with people throughout the world, are HIV positive. I'm going to hold up, this is a test, this is a report from Tanzania. And I'm going to briefly show you some photographs of people that I work with in Tanzania who are HIV positive. Now, after working with these people and identifying the HIV virus, nobody has a viral load anymore for HIV. So I've worked with entire villages. This is a village in Tanzania, and according to these people, they feel well, and many of them had a follow-up PCR test. Nobody has a viral load for HIV anymore.
So this sounds like really being a success story. I'm curious because I want to hear also a little bit of the vulnerable part of your journey. Has it always been the success story, as you do really basic ground research? Share a little bit about that.
Thank you. Today is a success. Today, after 50 years of research, it works. It's been hard. It's been arduous. And to put that into context, the first 20, 30 years of my life of research, I had to understand what this energy was, and I had to experiment. So this is the compilation of my 50 years of work, and my predecessor, a man by the name of Hieronymus, his 50 years of work. Now, put all that together, it's a century of work. I'm not the only researcher, and it's taken time. Nature gives up her secrets begrudgingly. So this has been it's a long, arduous path.
Do you feel that there have been like setbacks during this time where you felt, oh, I'm very close, and now something happens that, brought you back to a place where you said, oh, do I really want to continue this?
The key. Well, you understand. When I first started this work, I would theorize. I would have ideas that this would work. In theory, I believe that this would work. But many of those theories proved to be inaccurate or just downright, just they fail. So I had to go back to the proper science, to the exact method to bring about this occasion. I have resolved only to work moving forward with photographs of microbes. Okay? This is a microbe, HIV virus. If I match that up with a person, I can find that exact energy. You can't do this by human interpretation. What's the point? Energy has its specific signature. You do not want to try and reinterpret nature. It doesn't work. We don't understand the genetic structure. We don't understand the auric signature. Nobody understands the scalar energy signature of that microbe. I don't. So why not use a photograph, which is the exact signal? And this is what I've learned. There's another technique I want to mention. Now, on our programs, on our website, we have various programs such as female hormones, in which we'll be able to take photographs of hormones and then download that into people. Or we'll be able to take photographs of a neurotransmitter and download that into a person. So this is serotonin. If I wanted to receive the energy of serotonin, I would once again include my photograph in the force field. The two photographs communicate with one another. This is a program we have called endorphins and neurotransmitters, in which we download the energy of an endorphin, of a neurotransmitter into a person. What happens? People are happier. If you are under the influence of serotonin energy 24 hours a day, you're happy without any chemical consequence. So there's so many applications with this energy.
Yeah, I think everybody could need like a cup of serotonin at the moment.
Especially today with today's news, and there's a lot of negativity in the world. Many people, we need help. We need a lift up. We need good news. We don't need bad news anymore.
Yeah. Do you feel that there is kind of a resistance of people trying this out? Like, because it's very new? No. Okay.
No, and I'll tell you why. People like you are at least open to it, and you'll listen to me, and then you'll realize that these are engineered instruments. This is not auto-suggestion. This is not my opinion. This is 100 years of research. So there is merit to this. This is a scientific instrument that follows the laws of science. People, frankly, Swanette, have been very gracious. Thank God for the people. So I have a grassroots movement. We're growing. And the people believe this. They see that this is logical, that an instrument working through the laws of science will indeed produce favorable quantum health.
Yeah, but you said this is a grassroots movement. So these are people that are already kind of open-minded or are connected to spirituality or alternative healing methods, I think.
Yes, exactly. These are the people who are well-read and are willing to try something. People who think outside the box. How's that? People who are open to new technology. And that's the key. If we're going to continue to advance, if we want to make progress, we need new inventions. We need new discoveries. This is what I'm advocating. This is a new advance. This is a new discovery. Why not embrace this as a gift from God?
Yeah, and I see that at the moment we are stepping into the age of, or we are in the age of Aquarius, and Pluto just came into our system. Like, this is the time of innovation and bringing it out, becoming visible with these new technologies. And I think that this year will be a rapid transformation in what we thought the world is and what our science is, that is written in our books. That this will change a lot, and especially when you researchers like you become visible and speak on my podcast, for example. Yeah.
Thank you for the audience. That's the key. Now, great scientists such as Nikola Tesla Tesla was working with scalar energy instruments. However, he did not have the internet. And that wasn't his fault, but that served to isolate him in many ways, because he was a genius, but people could not relate to his work. Only today do we see that these great inventors, now that we have the internet and the free exchange of ideas, now that this is working for our benefit.
Yeah, so of course for him it was that only when he was in the local press or something like that, or was together with other scientists, that he could speak about that. And now you have the internet and different form like think tanks, as I'm facilitating, to really come together with other experts and share their genius ideas. But I think still you have all other kinds of challenges or bottleneck that is stopping you right now from really achieving what you want to achieve, like bringing this out into the world. Yeah. What is it?
Thank you, Swanette. I want to help people. Here, I'm gonna show the audience how profound this is. I'm gonna hold up a photograph. This is a clinic in Delhi, India. It's called Om Prakash. It's an HIV/AIDS clinic. I've worked with over 5,000 people through their photograph only from this clinic. After working with these people, once again, we identify the HIV virus through the photographic aura. After working with these 5,000 people in Delhi, India, nobody has a viral load. Nobody is HIV positive. This is one of the PCR tests from the clinic. No viral load for HIV. And we have other PCR tests coming from the clinic. So imagine if this is accurate. Imagine the benefits now to mankind, where people don't have to travel to a clinic. Just email me your photograph. This is why I wanted to invite you into my lab. I wanted you to see the instruments and how simple it is to place my photograph in the quantum field. My photograph now is absorbing scalar energy. So the same energy that will illuminate a light bulb is now illuminating my chakras and animating me. The energy is the healer.
Exactly. So I've seen that you supported a lot of different NGOs in other countries. So you have your own idea of your vision, what you want to create.
I do. For instance, today, working with NGOs and charities around the world, I work with 500,000 photographs today. 500,000 photographs. Eventually, I want to treat 1 billion people a year by a photograph. My goal is to treat 1 billion people a year by a photograph.
Is there anything at the moment that is holding you back from achieving this?
Only getting the message out. Help me. Those of you in the listening audience, go to our website, look at our test results, look at the testimonies, then you decide. You decide if this is positive, if this is advantageous. The only thing I need now is for people to join us. We're all grassroots. Our group is a grassroots movement. We do not work with government or big business. No.
So you really work with the people, for the people.
Yes, thank you. I'm not involved with government or big business. They don't influence me. They're not going to control me.
Okay, so there it's really like, I feel that you have this strong mission, and you're unstoppable in what you want to do. Is this correct?
You're right, because God is with me. You're absolutely right. We are unstoppable. Nothing can stop this. How can you stop a photograph? You can't. You can't. Nothing can stop a photograph. So join us, those of you in the listening audience. Listen to what I'm saying. Go to our website. Look at all of our test results. We have probably 4,000 testimonies on our website. And all of those are from people around the world who say that something wonderful has happened, or at least they feel some type of improvement in their health. Now, not one of those people ever visited me. All of those people send me photographs. So this is the new science in which we don't work with people, we work with energy fields. And as we discussed earlier, it's so much easier working with an energy field because that way you don't have to deal with chemical consequences. You don't have to deal with toxic shock. You don't have to deal with dizziness or inflammation. A photograph cannot have a biological reaction.
This brings it all together. Like, you are really out here in this world having a strong vision, and I hear that you really want to expand also your business and reach as many people as possible and bring them into a healthy life and helping them to have a wonderful and happy life with the serotonin as well.
Thank you. And it's so easy and it's so simple and so straightforward. Don't think along biological terms. Don't think in the physical realm. Think of aura, think of spirit, think of the energy of God and how you can do so much through a photograph. Now, I know there's many problems today, but a photograph is the easy way of reaching our quantum, reaching our consciousness.
If people are now interested, as they listen to you and have seen what is happening in your laboratory, how can people reach out to you?
Yeah, the website is scalarlight.com. SCALAR, scalarlight.com. Visit the website. Anybody in the world can upload, email us a photograph. We'll work with you for 15 days for free. We offer that for the entire world. Scalarlight.com, SCALAR. Now, in so doing, then you have 15 days to decide, does this make sense? Do you feel better? Share it with family and friends. Have your family and friends email us your photograph. The key is all grassroots. We'll prove this one person at a time through our grassroots effort.
Absolutely. So I will put the links in the show notes also from your email if people want to have questions and want to ask more than I have done now. Thank you so much for sharing all this, for being one of the people who really wants to make this world a better place and has such a strong mission. Thank you for being my guest.
Thank you, Swanette. My pleasure.
Thank you for listening or watching my podcast, Holistic Creators. If you want to know more about how I can help and support you, have a look at my website, spiritualchangemaker.com. You can also join my Facebook group, Spiritual Changemakers Community. Stay tuned for the next episode by subscribing to this channel. And you also can check the previous episodes.